Hello, everyone. Today we have with us a very special guest, a mountaineer, a marathon runner, a skydiver, and now an author. He has achieved all these feats after undergoing an open heart surgery at age 60. A physician by profession, he has overcome the odds and changed his fate by switching to a whole foods plant based diet and a healthier lifestyle after his heart surgery. He then went on to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest freestanding mountain in the world, and ran full marathons in Chicago, Boston, and Mumbai. Now, he has documented his life's experiences in a book titled Open Heart, which features his remarkable journey from doctor to bypass patient to a mountaineer. He has also shed light on the role a diet plays in preventing as well as recovering from heart diseases, as well as other chronic illnesses such as cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, etc. We welcome Dr. Akil Taher Bhai from Alabama. Dr. Taher, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Your journey is nothing less than extraordinary. What you have done to transform your life is an inspiration for so many people out there. It is often believed that people become very rigid after they attain a certain age and they don't want to change their habits and lifestyle. But you have proved that all wrong. So, please share your story with us and please tell us how and when did you start facing heart related issues and what was the reason behind that? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Supriya, for having me on your show. And I would like to thank all these people who are going to watch that they gain something out of this conversation that I'm having with Supriya. Uh, I started way back in 2003. All my adult life, I was always a lover of good food, like the sad diet, the American diet, or the Indian diet, but rich, unhealthy food, drinks, and occasionally a cigar. All these were there to achieve the American dream. And then I was a couch potato. I did not exercise at all. The only exercise I got was for my eye muscles looking at joggers running in the park. So that was the level of my exercise. I had a type A personality, and trying to live the American dream, I was stressed. Everybody has stress. So that is not an issue. How to handle stress is an important thing. So I did not know how to handle stress. I was great with my patients. I was doing exceptionally, but my home life, my family life, my life with my friends was deteriorating. So what happened was that it was no surprise with a diet that was full of unhealthy foods. Not on my heart disease came, coronary artery disease came knocking at my door at the age of 56. Now, Supriya, try to understand. My grandfather lived up to be 103. My father was 82. So I thought I was invincible. If I had a genetics of my grandfather and father, I would easily make it. But no, I had heart disease at the age of 56. And then I had to get stents put in. Once the stents were put in, did I change my life? No, I did not change my life. I continued the same unhealthy food, and I was then, because I did not want to accept this, I was in denial. I tried to fight it off. And in doing so, I became so severely depressed, trying to be all alone, aimlessly looking. See the difference between this aloneness and when I went to Mount Kailash, when I did the yatra. And the top of the yatra, I tried to be alone, but that was great feeling. In the depression, when you're alone, you're terrible. You don't know where to go. My wife had to carry me to a psychiatrist. And then I saw that things like sinus infections, bronchitis visited me every year. Because I was a physician, I used to take antibiotic shots and get relieved. But that was temporary. And then came the question of chronic constipation with the diet I was having. No fiber. All I was omnivore, but I was more of a carnivore. I loved eating meat, eggs, and that, the customary diet of the Americans, and plus the Indian diet. So what happened was with that kind of diet, I started wondering, is this, and the chronic constipation led to all the inguinal hernia surgeries. And then I had perforations in my colon with the diverticulitis. Twice they got perforated. The surgeons wanted to remove the colon. I said, no, you're not going to do that. And then they gave me antibiotics IV. I had ulcers in my mouth for 2 years. So there was a standing joke in my clinic that when a patient came to me and said that, look, doc, I've got this, I said, don't worry, I also have it, you know. So the thing, I had reached that level. So those were the 5 most terrible years in my life. Then came the situation that there was no surprise that this stents failed. I got restenosis and had to have the open heart bypass surgery. This is where my lifestyle changes. And when I tried to gradually change my life. So this is the background of from where I was to this point when I'm now tired and what do I do?
Wow. So basically, you had to undergo a lot of things, actually, a lot of terrible things, I believe. So, what did you do? So, what kind of changes did you bring in your lifestyle? Did you like start exercising? You said you were a couch potato earlier. So, did you start exercising? Did you start running? And did you also make some changes in your diet?
See, in my open heart, I talk about this, and I think a lot of people, and I've got great response to Open Heart, my book, you know. I get calls, I get emails, I get a lot of this thing. I'm very happy because I'm doing it for charity. There is no ulterior motive in this. So, Supriya, then when I was being taken, wheeled into the ICU and surgery, something hit me. It was an inflection point, a reflection point. I was tired of leading the life I was leading. So I said, there are only two options I have. Now, retire from my work, sit on the rocking chair, and live a life just vicariously through my children and grandchild and wait for the inevitable death. Or take this setback and turn into an opportunity. I chose the latter. I started changing my lifestyle. Most important, diet. The vegan diet. Remember one thing, a vegan diet is more important than exercise. I've written a whole chapter on it. So I decided that I've got to change. And initially, I was thinking of what should I do? What sport should I try to do? And I said, look, I'm not going to expensive sports where I have to buy rackets and bats and things like this. No. By the way, I was a cricketer when I was in India. I was in St. Xavier's School. Uh, Trust me, I have opened with Sunil Gavaskar in St. Xavier's High School.
Nice.
So he was my runner. I was the opener. Of course, we would be about, say, 120, no loss. I would be 20 runs and he would be 100 runs. So, but those are the 5 days cricket games. So, I mean, you can Google it. I played with Gavaskar.
No, no, I completely trust you.
So, then it came to my mind that I've got to change my lifestyle. So I started saying that the easiest sports that anybody can take is to run, because all you need sneakers and shorts. So I took baby steps. A guy who had not done 1 kilometer in his life, as I was taken into the surgery, maybe under the influence of anesthesia and what I felt, I promised the nurses, ICU nurses, that I will do a half marathon in a year's time if all went well. They held me to my promise. So in 8 months after an open heart surgery, I ran a half marathon in Nashville, Tennessee. It took me 3.5 hours, grueling hours, but I did it. And I felt on top of the world when I did it. You see, these are the important things, because I know that in the Nashville Marathon they had announced it was lightning and rain, and they said that we may close this. I said, I don't mind. Let them do whatever. I'm not going to give up on this now. From then on, there was no stopping. I kept on doing things. The next thing I did was Mount Kailash. Very honest, Supriya, I thought it was a trekking. But it turned out to be a yatra. So I tried to get out of it. And I said, but remember, it's a Chinese, it's in Tibet. And the Chinese don't like the USA passport, and the Chinese don't like the Indian look. So they did not let me go out.
Yeah.
What did I do, Supriya? If you can't beat them, join them. I sat in their Hawans. All the things I did, all the religious things. I mean, this was Mount Kailash. 3 days of parikrama. They asked me to take a yak and a pony. I said no. They tried to give me oxygen. I said no. I'm going to do it on foot. We were 50 people. 4 of us did it on foot. See, if you have the faith, and trust me, when I was alone over there and when I came down, who noticed a change in me? My wife. She found out I mellowed down. My type A personality had mellowed down. I was more compassionate to people. I was always good with my patients, but I showed more empathy towards people. This was Kailash. This is spiritual. I don't care where you go. You go to a church, you go to a mosque, you go to a gurudwara. But the idea is that this helps. And this helped me tremendously. So then there was no stopping. I went on doing that. From then on to marathons. And the marathons itself, there are so lovely stories. One of the things was that when I did, if you want to ask me a question, because there's a kind of a little bit of a humorous story that I would like to relate, I started, after doing a few marathons and half marathons, I wanted to do a triathlon. And so triathlon means that you have 3 kinds of things that you have to do. You have to run, you have to swim, and you have to bike. मेरे टाइम में मुंबई में मेरे ख्याल से उस टाइम में when it was called Bombay, करीब 7-8 swimming pools in the whole of Bombay. Now it is different. एक तो वो जो NCSI का था, एक CCI का पूल था वगैरह ऐसे थे. The swimming, I was in St. Xavier's school, so that gave me a chance of learning how to swim. To swim थोड़ा तो आता था मुझे. Now, running, I was becoming very good at it, so I didn't mind that. So swimming का तो हो सकता था because I knew a little bit. Biking was a road bike, or वो clip pedals, a joint in your this thing. You can fall, लेकिन पानी जो था यहाँ पे जो लेक लिनियर में बहुत ठंडा था. So I decided to have a wetsuit. अब pagalpan, because I went and bought a wetsuit, but I didn't read the instructions, like all men do. I just wore the wetsuit, ऊपर जाके मेरे bedroom में, without putting body glide, or I put on the wetsuit. अब मैं तो बहुत खुश हो गया आई मिरर में देख के दिस इज फैंटास्टिक आई नाउ स्विम आई डोंट माइंड कोल्ड वाटर तो मैंने निकालने की कोशिश की अब निकल नहीं रहा this is not coming out because of there was no body glide so it came out to the waist where I had to ultimately tell my wife you please help me so I went down and she's pulling at my leggings and I am like a ragged doll and she's moving me all around निकल नहीं रहा है so she goes to the kitchen बोला आप क्या कर रही है वो she went and got the scissors and she cut the leggings I think I've written in my book she cut the leggings this $160 suit what are you doing she says do you want to be in the suit for the rest of your life because it's not coming out otherwise so that was a story but nobody even I googled nobody ever told me that I only do one stroke in swimming breaststroke nobody said that you can do a breaststroke with a wetsuit man next morning I went to YMCA and I said, now I've put body glide, everything. I put on the wetsuit and I went in. I'm floating on the water. I'm not swimming because I don't do freestyle. So that was a very jovial experience where my wife and I, we still laugh at it, when we think about it.
Yes, it is interesting.
So that was my story about that. But what I felt was, Supriya, that when I started thinking about it, और तो मैं सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ. I'm doing meditation. I learned yoga. I can do a headstand without support now. This is all in my website, akiltaher.com. So if you go on my website and if people can go, they can really get a lot out of it. But I was always wondering, why is it my stomach and all still bothering me? I'm doing all these things. Then I started reading about Dr. Dean Ornish, T. Collins, all these people who have written China study and all that. They have given me testimonials in my book. They read it. And I figured out it is my diet because I had changed. I was eating better, but still I was not complete. Then when I changed my diet and slowly, what I did was I first became a flexitarian, meaning I cut back on meat, eggs, and cheese and sugar. Then I said, okay, let me give up and become a pescatarian because I loved seafood. Or seafood to aisa tha that I was not like before, I was not SEA, I was SEE. I ate everything at sight. So that was a seafood eater I was. So I tried to figure out, okay, let me be a pescatarian. So I'd given up that. Then I gave up dairy. Tremendous help. Then I slowly gave up eggs, but kept that seafood, the fish I could not give up. And the dairy also is a difficult thing to give up. You know I why dairy is so difficult to give up? I did some research. It has got a protein called casein.
Yes.
And this casein is very difficult to digest because it is cows. Hey, we are the only human beings in the animal kingdom that once we drink the milk of our mothers and when we are weaned, we still want milk. And then we are so this thing that we are not only the same, our human milk, but we are going for the cow's milk. Now the cow's milk has got casein. And that casein you can't digest. Even if you digest it, it forms casomorphine, which is similar to opium and morphine, addictive qualities. That means, agar kisi ko pucho, can you give up dairy? They said, oh, yes, I stopped drinking milk, but I cannot give up cheese. Because cheese has got casomorphines. Cheese is addictive. So the last thing anybody will give up is cheese.
It's difficult. I agree.
So this is the main thing. So I was thinking, what is it that is not letting me do what I really want to do? So when I turned into vegan, proper vegan, Then as I was going along in my one of my 100 kilometers bike ride, I started wondering. At that time, I was a vegan because before that, my starting runs and my long runs, I would eat a huge piece of chicken before, and I would eat a huge piece of chicken afterwards. So what happened was that my performance time was not this thing. My recovery time, all this was, and after I finished a long race, I would take 7 to 10 days to recover. तो ये जब मैं 100 kilometers bike ride I was doing with my trainer. We did a 100 kilometer bike ride, and then we were driving back to my small town Gadsden in Alabama. As we were driving, I get a call from my office manager that there is no doctor tomorrow. So can you cover? But I've already done 100 kilometers bike ride, but I was on a vegan meal. I said, okay, I will cover. Next day, I did a 10-hour shift. Nothing happened to me. The miracle of diet, you cannot outrun your diet. It is not bad food that runs in the family. It is not bad genetics that runs in the family, sorry. It is bad food that runs in the family. And if we are not careful, we are going to get ourselves, our young people will keep on dying. There's no exercise. And now in India, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, all these places, there's a double this thing. That now all these fast food joints have opened up. Our home diet, most of the cases with all the curries and this and that, plus the Western diet is coming up. It's a dynamite.
Yes, yes. So basically, you now follow a whole foods plant-based diet. You are a vegan now.
I'm a vegan. I'm not a whole food plant-based, no oil diet. When I was for your show, there was a message that came from somewhere and said that I've had the bypass. I'm 56 years old. I get a lot of now. So the idea is that if you got a heart problem, let me make a very bold statement over here. People get shocked when I make these statements. Some of the cardiologists don't like me, but one of the cardiologists in my book has this thing. If Supriya, if I had known then when they opened my heart and put stents, if I had known then what I know and understand today about the coronary arteries, I possibly would not have undergone stents or open heart surgery. I would not have gone. So very bold statement I'm making. Because I strongly believe that a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet for people who've got a heart problem can not only prevent them from getting heart disease, but can reverse heart disease. See, a very simple explanation. I wish the audience would understand this. Coronary artery or any artery in your body has got an inner lining endothelium. This endothelium produces nitric oxide, very important substance. This keeps the coronary artery dilated, free flowing of the blood in your coronary artery that supplies to the heart, and protects the coronary artery walls. What happens when you have the rich Indian food or the standard American diet called SAD diet? What happens? These fatty deposits, atherosclerosis, starts building up from the sides of the vessel and destroys the endothelium. It goes on the endothelium. So it destroys this and forming plaques, atherosclerotic plaques. And this keeps on narrowing and narrowing till you get chest pain, which we doctors call angina. But this takes years to form. Atherosclerosis, plaque formation starts at the age of what my grandson is, 8 years. So it takes years to form this. To give you an analogy, if there is a stream, a rapid stream, and you want to block it, you put pebbles or stones on either side and come in the center. You'll block the stream, but the stream will have its own way of going up over the stones, sidewards, and go forward. Similarly, with the plaque formation, narrowing ho jata hai, this thing, but we form collaterals,
Hmm. Yes.
new blood vessels. The new blood vessels will always keep the blood flowing to the heart. Say the blockage is over here, they will form vessels to go around the blockages and go further. So you will always have a certain amount of blood and you're not getting a heart attack. I did not get a heart attack. My partners, two of my partners, I can name them because I've taken their permission to do that. Dr. Narayan, cardiologist, and Dr. Pranav Mishra. And both of them had heart attacks, severe chest pain, dizziness, that is different. But they had 50% blockage, 60%. मेरा 99% blockage था, but I didn't have a heart attack. So if I had gone on to the whole food, plant-based, no oil diet, there is a possibility that I would have not damaged the endothelium and recovered. So that is important. Now, there is a place for stents and this thing. I'm not saying there's no place for bypass surgery. Say you're getting a heart attack, typical Bollywood, Hollywood type of a heart attack. Chest pain, niche gir gaya, shortness of breath, dizziness. Okay. You go 911, get the ambulance coming in, they take you to the emergency room, they check your EKG, they do your blood work, and they say, oh my God, you are having a heart attack. They give you blood thinners, they take you up to the angioplasty lab, boom, 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 they take out the clots and they put the stents, and if that fails, they give you a bypass surgery. Has to be done, but not when you are having angina. 50% of bypass surgeries and stents done in the US or probably in India are unnecessary, which can be done by diet alone. Diet is food. Food is medicine.
Very valid point, sir. Very rightly said. It is like, yes. So, since like you have spoken about diet, food is medicine, we all know, but we fail to follow this. So, what kind of diet would you recommend to the viewers of this video? What kind of diet? And, is it important for kids also to follow such a diet if they want to lead healthy lives?
Absolutely. Is my grandchild following it? Not completely. Is my wife and daughter, they were vegetarians long before I was. They are now vegetarians for 35, 40 years because of animal cruelty. So they did it on that basis. I did it for health reasons. See, the point is, at my time, there were no recipes. There were no vegan groups. There were no people like you who could really, Supriya, who could really help people. Nowadays, you've got a lot of things. One of the things that Nandita Shah, have you heard of her?
Yes.
Yeah. Nandita Shah has also written a testimonial on my book. She read my book.
Yes.
She has got the Sharan, 21 Day of Curing Diabetes. She has got some wonderful recipes. There is a Shobha Swami around here who is my colleague over here, who she's not a doctor, but she's a nutritionist. And she does whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. I don't feel, am I doing whole food, plant-based, no oil diet? No, I'm vegan. I'm using oil minimally because I cannot. Because initially, when I became a vegan, people stopped inviting me. So
It happens with all of us, actually.
but But the thing is, what I do is, whenever I'm invited to a party, I will eat half my meal at home.
Hmm.
This is what most of the Bollywood and the Hollywood actresses and actors do. Then you nibble at a party, but you eat your basic diet at home. Try to, when you give up one item, try to replace it if say meat is very important to you.
Hmm.
And say you have a piece of chicken you want to give up. You want to give up chicken. Then that chicken burger that you are having, try to replace it something which has got that. There are great jackfruit recipes which are tasting like meat. And mushroom, which has got the earthy taste in it. If I make a mushroom this thing, boy oh boy, I love it now. I would never go in for a meat burger. Never, never a chicken burger, period. So try to replace an item that is similar. Always start your day with a huge glass of lukewarm water. To give you an idea of what I do, and I've got energy at the moment, which is more. I just finished 3.5 miles on my treadmill. Today I didn't go out because I had to meet you, so I've done it on my at home my treadmill. But I still run 3.5 miles. Not 3.5, sorry, 3.1. That is 5 kilometers. So I get up in the morning. Do you want me to tell you what I do every morning? Like I get up in the morning, even before brushing my teeth, I will take a big, huge glass of, 2 bottles of these. I will take lukewarm and drink it first thing in the morning. Then I will start making whatever fruits you have in that house. It doesn't make a difference. Papaya, apples, oranges, this, that, whatever. I put it in the mixer and make a smoothie for me and my wife. She loves it cold, so I put it in the refrigerator. I don't have cold, so I put it outside. And I have that. No, I don't have that. Sorry. I have my cup of coffee after that. After that, I will start doing my exercises, stretching, balance. After finishing the exercises, I will do my meditation and pranayama. And then I will have my smoothie. Then I will sit for 2 hours. If I feel hungry, I will have oatmeal or something. But if I don't, then I will sit for 2 hours. I'm doing telemedicine now because of the COVID. So I do it from my Atlanta home. I do telemedicine for 2 hours. And then I have a lunch, which is whatever you can, whether it is pasta, whole wheat pasta, or if you got beans, if you got grains, if you got quinoa, if you got amaranth, all these are fantastic things. And vegetables. I play a game with my patients. I say, okay, A to Z, like we call it Z, we call it Z over here from, I don't know why, but
We have started calling it Z also over here. So most of the
uh,
schools are teaching kids Z only nowadays.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I try and tell my this thing. Okay, think about it. Like from A to Z. Like A for avocado, B for broccoli, C for whatever. D for dandelions, and we play a game. There is so much of vegetables in India, and it is a wrong fallacy to believe that going vegan is more expensive.
Mm.
No, it is not. See, you think about it, even a burger in McDonald's in India will cost you about 150 rupees or something. I don't know. I believe so.
Yeah, there are different versions actually, but yeah, one of them, yeah, it costs around the same. Yeah.
Same, 100, or whatever. Okay. Take a little bit of almonds, cashew nuts. There are 5 food this thing that you have to worry about. It's your vegetables. It's your fruits. It's your nuts. It's your grains. And it's your seeds. You're done. You don't need, and don't think about micronutrients. Nutrients. Oh, I'm not getting enough magnesium. Oh, I'm not getting enough zinc. I'm not getting this. A whole food, take it as a, you don't need, except for two things. There are two downfalls of this diet, uh, our vegan diet. One is B12.
Right.
Why is B12? Because B12 is made by bacteria in the soil. So before, we used to pick out those vegetables and we had the B12. Now, because of the pesticides and insecticides, our soil does not have that bacteria to make B12. So you have to have a supplement of at least 2,500 units of B12 a day. And number two, vitamin D. You cannot get vitamin D on a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. You do have fortified milk, fortified orange juice, 100 units, but you need much more. And in America, my nursing home patients, even before the COVID, 60% of them were vitamin D deficient. And when the COVID started last March in 2020, yeah, 2020, when for the first 3 months I did not go out at all, then I checked my vitamin D. I don't know the parameters in India, but here it is 30 to 100 is normal. My level was 6. And vitamin D, lack of vitamin D can cause all sorts of problems,
Yes.
osteoporosis. And the latest study is that it protects you from COVID.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. And this was a double-blinded study done where they took 50 patients of COVID-19. And they were pretty serious enough to be admitted in the hospital. And they were admitted in the hospital. 25 of them were given very high doses of vitamin D, 50,000 units. The other were not given. The ones who were not given, 8 of them landed up on the ventilator. The ones who were given the vitamin D, only 1 landed on the ventilator. Small study, but a relevant study. It even protects you from getting COVID. So please, if there is a take-home message apart from my book and all that, please remember, take your vitamin D. I've never seen in my 45 years of practice anybody getting vitamin D toxicity.
Very,
So
yeah.
I hope I'm not going to
No, no,
cut
no.
me short,
No, 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 no.
please.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I think this information needs to go out. And coming from a doctor, I think it matters a lot. And it is very, very important for people to know all this. So, one question which I always, I'm worried about, and there are a lot of parents. I'm a parent myself. So, so many parents are worried about if they are vegans and if they want to raise their children vegans. So, in India specifically, people want to give milk. Everybody they go vegan themselves, but their kids they just want to give them milk, or there is some sort of pressure on every mother and father that they should be giving cow's milk to their kids, otherwise they will have some deficiencies. It is considered as a whole food. So what do you have to say about that?
I personally believe that and people are worried that they will not be strong, they will not have strong bones, the teeth, and all that. Look, all the animals that we know in our this thing, the elephant or the hippopotamus or whatever, these are all the horses, these are all vegetarians. We don't have to be a non-vegetarian for that, or for milk. See, people don't realize this, that you're getting enough, worried about calcium, correct? You're
Yes.
getting enough calcium in your cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and all that. You're getting enough of this thing. Plus, you are getting from your nuts and seeds enough of calcium you don't require. In adults, you require vitamin D to absorb calcium, but not otherwise. Number two, why are you giving saturated fat? If you're giving saturated fat, there are streaks being formed, the cholesterol is being there, and plaques are being formed. If you're worried about them not growing strong and tall, think about it. In my own this thing, there were vegetarians. Of course, there were partly junk food vegetarians in my town, but their children were all vegetarians, and they've all grown up very well. So there is nothing to do with milk as such. Your teeth are healthy, your this thing is healthy. But if you give them, then there are chances that you are using a protein which is not digestible by children. The same thing, that casein and all that, then they start getting abdominal problems at age 17 and 18 and distension, and then you feel heartburns, and then you feel this is a normal way of life. So it is so difficult for us to tell them about the milk. But once they start wondering, all I would tell them is this: when I came to this country, I never saw somebody having a heart attack before the age of 50. Now I'm seeing just 2 weeks back, a Nepali who was in Colorado, who used to be a mountain climber in Nepal. He was going up and down, and he thought short of breath, and he was having it for about 8, 9 months. And he thought it is because of age, and he fell and he got a heart attack. How old was he? 32. So if you are getting younger, do you want your children to take the chance and give them milk with a saturated fat, with the kind of hormones that has been put into it? How do you get milk? You get milk by actually, unless you are in a village and you are getting your milk from the cow, it is different. But if most of the people in the cities like Delhi and this thing are getting the milk from the stores.
Yes. Yes.
This milk is actually, you impregnate the cow, because unless and until it is impregnated, it cannot give out milk. So you constantly keep them pregnant. So there's constantly estrogen coming out. So this hormone is still there, and that hormone will affect the child. So that estrogen hormone is there, plus because of the continuous manipulation of the udder with machines, you are getting lacerations, you're getting pus cells into your blood. Plus, to prevent this, they're putting antibiotics. So you're getting antibiotics into that. So I don't think that it is conducive for people. I told my daughter, my grandchild used to drink, is now stopped because of this. But then tell them that means that, and tell them this: if it is taste that the child wants, look how much of you got. Almond milk, pea milk, PEA milk, a fantastic cashew milk, soy milk, ice creams, everything is there. It is available now. Everything is available in Delhi and Mumbai. I've seen. So why take that? Okay, kuch nahi ho raha hai, lekin why do you want to take the risk? There's a saying: you believe in God, or you're an atheist, or you're agnostic. Agnostic meaning कि भाई अगर भगवान है तो ओके, भगवान नहीं है तो ओके. Take it with the milk with children. Okay, it's not harming, but do you want to take the risk and want your child to die at 31? Or just play it safe.
I hope people will understand this, and we have been trying to convey. Everybody wants to convey this message, but yeah, I'm sure coming from a doctor, it will help a lot. Okay, one last question, Dr. Taher. It's something which I was thinking. After the age of 60, you started climbing mountains. You went for marathons, and you did all these adventurous things. So, did you ever feel scared? that something might happen, some untoward incident might happen, during all these expeditions. Weren't you scared? Because even we are, everybody is.
Fear, you know, if you conquer, if you are not worried, not in a bad way, if you're not worried and scared of death, then you're not fearful of living. Think about it. Fearful of living. My credo is that adventure may hurt you, but monotony will kill you. Now, I don't mean adventure only in physical sense. Adventure meaning living outside your comfort zone. अरे मैं रोज दाल और खिचड़ी बनाती हूँ तो आज तो मैं कुछ नया कर दूं. I started my hobbies of gardening. I hate myself, I should not use that word, for so many years not doing anything, because in America we have got a lot of space. Everyone has got a backyard. Why are we not growing our own food? COVID taught me how to grow the food. You see, if you take fear, if you can take that and mold it into a kind of a comeback sort of thing, then the death of fear is certain. So when I used to go on any trip, any this thing, yes, there was hesitancy. Yes, there was fear. The fear is of two types. One is a fear that you have when you are appearing in an exam, medical, law, whatever. There's a certain bit of palpitation. It's good because it makes you there. But the fear that brings you down, will not let you go outside your comfort zone, is a kind of. So, yes, I was fearful. I was fearful at times, especially in Mount Kilimanjaro. At the height of it, it was minus 20 degrees. It was extremely cold. It was, we were told that there was only 50% of the oxygen at sea level, only 50% at that level. So we had to take up it was poly, slow. Every step, the last 1 mile took us 6 hours of walking. Of course, I was a little bit wary. But somebody just recently told me, I think I repeated this, that live long, die fast. Best I can tell anybody. Live long and die fast. We doctors are doing what? We doctors are treating the consequence of the disease. We are not treating the cause. You got high cholesterol and trying to prevent you from getting a heart attack. Primary prevention. I want primordial prevention. Why are you getting cholesterol? You should not get cholesterol. You should not get blood pressure. You should not get diabetes. That is a primordial prevention. So what we doctors are excellent all over the world. We can make you live long, but not healthier. So what we are doing as doctors is, and we are great. I'm not saying that. Of course, you've got an acute appendicitis. I know how to treat. You're getting an acute heart attack. I know what to do. But these are common chronic illnesses. You have to understand that what we are doing is we are mopping the floor overflow sink hota hai na. Overflow, the sink gets overflow, and you're mopping the floor. You keep on mopping the floor. What do you have to do? Turn the faucet off. We are not doing that. Fear of death will be certain if you take it in your stride.
Yes, I completely
I,
agree.
I would wish you that this is my most important message, that my book, the Open Heart,
Hmm.
which is, of course, a transformational journey of a doctor who, at 61, ran marathons and climbed mountains spurred by heart healthy changes
Hmm.
of mainly diet,
Hmm.
body, spirit, and mind. So, if this can be read by people, it is available on ebook, which is $1.99. And I'm trying to bring it out into the publishing this thing in India in another 35, 40 days, which will be, of course, 1700 is a bit too much for anybody to buy right now. Uh, Except, of course, there are people who can afford it and they're doing it. But the general public will get it for a far lesser price once it comes out in 40 days. I would only want your vegan society and you in person, Supriya, that please just help me in spreading this message. Let us save our brethren, our sisters, and our brothers, and our mothers, and our fathers. Please help me do that.
Definitely, we are trying our best, and I'm looking forward to reading the book myself. So I will definitely, put a review of the book on the website. So we all look forward to it, and I'm sure people would love to get insights from your book.
And one more thing, Supriya,
Yes.
I'm giving tomorrow also, I'm giving, there's a professor Joshi, Vijay Joshi in Mumbai. I'm doing a Zoom presentation, not interview, presentation
Right.
of South Asians and heart disease and the hidden thread. If I'm not pushing you, but if you ever want to do a Zoom
Hmm.
for this particular, and you get me about whatever the this thing is,
Hmm.
I'll be very happy to do it.
Okay.
25, 30, 40, 50 people, and
Awesome.
any questions, answers, welcome.
Wow. Very good ideas. Definitely, I
Okay.
will look into it.
Okay.
Okay, then I think we'll wrap up the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Tahir. And we look forward to hearing more from you. And I wish everybody should go for your book. They should read their book, read your book, and definitely absorb as many insights as possible. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.